Hey everybody, it's Toy and welcome to Spillin The Beans, where King and I ask each other questions. We have like a list of questions. We get them from somewhere or we come up with them ourselves or people ask us and then we just answer the questions. But it's they're about our relationship. And so we'll either be together or we'll be separate and we'll ask the questions and we'll ask the same questions and just to see what each of us got from the question or our answer to the question. And today's question is, how did the relationship start? That is really a long that's long. It's a long answer, but I'm gonna try to not make it that long. First of all, we met on social media on Facebook. He messaged me on Facebook and tried pursuing me. He just wanted to talk to me and everything. And I wasn't wasn't looking for anybody to date. I wasn't interested in anybody. I wanted some time just to myself, not to be with anybody. But yeah, he messaged me and I guess he just greeted me and everything. And then I read it, but I didn't answer. And then he messaged me again and he was like, why aren't you answering? And I'm just like, so I went to his page, which was strange because I would get guys, that approach me on Facebook or, on social media, but I don't pay it any attention. I just, I don't respond back. But for some reason, I went to his page and went and checked out his page. Didn't think anything about it. Went on. And he was like, why aren't you answering? Why aren't you responding? And I went to his page. And I went to his page like a couple, 2 or 3 times. And I'm just like, why do I keep going to his page, and everything? And when that's not something normally I do, because again, I didn't want to be in a relationship. And I know, it's, well, I don't know, but most of the time when somebody approach you, they're interested in you. And I was like, I don't want to be interested in anybody right now. And so I was trying to avoid it. So so I went to his page the last time and then he was just like, I forgot what he asked. But he said he wanted us to be friends, best friends. And I'm like, and I went to his and I messaged him and I was like, you don't know anything about me. And how you want to be best friends with me? I was upset. I was really upset because my own issues I had going on within myself. And I was just like, and then I kept feeling drawn to him. So I was upset. I think that's what it was, that I was feeling drawn to him and I didn't want to. And so he was just like, I was like, you don't know me. I don't know you. How are we going to be best friends and all this? And he was like, ask me anything. And so for some reason, when he said that, it made me curious about him. So then we just started talking. And, we were just talking to each other, messaging each other on Facebook and everything. And he was like, can I see you? Can we video? And I was like, no, because, again, I was already drawn to him. And then I was like, if I see him, if I hear his voice, I might start to have feelings for him and everything. So I was just trying to keep everything like not too, I didn't want to get too close to him, I didn't want to, I just didn't want to go there. So I was like, no. And I was like, and if and I had told myself, I didn't say it to him, but I told myself, if anybody called me and I didn't tell them to call, then that they can call me, I was going to block them. So I was like, no, I don't want, excuse me, I don't want you to call me. And so he respected me, and he was like, okay, I won't call you. So it was just like we just kept talking like every day. We were talking, and the conversation was just getting deep real fast. And I was just like, this is just too much. It was really weird. And then I was praying about, this whole thing. And it was funny. Yes. While I the same time, within days of him messaging me and him talking, I had signed up for this challenge. It was a relationship challenge on Facebook. And so you like pray for your mate. It's like for people who want to get married and stuff like that. And it was this couple that I have ran into that started this challenge, and you do these different things, like you pray for the type of man or woman that you want and stuff. And um I had just signed up for that. Like I was like, okay, I'll do it. I don't want to be with anybody right now, but I do eventually want to be with somebody. And so it was kind of preparing you for a relationship, like a spiritual relationship. And this would be my first time in a relationship where I am spiritually guided, and like God is in my life. I never had a relationship like that, so I'm like, I don't even know what that looked like. So I was curious. So yeah, I had just signed up for that, so it was weird. So the things that I was praying for my husband, my future husband, he was like ticking those things off with the conversations that we were having. And these questions, these things that I was praying for was specific. And it was like, so he's like ticking these things off. And so I started getting scared. And he's asking me these questions, and it's moving so fast. And I was just like wanted to just back off, but it was like my spirit just felt so weighted down. It felt so heavy. So I was like, it's something to this. And I had just started this spiritual journey with God. And I was like, Lord, do whatever you want to do in my life. Wherever you want me to go, whatever it is you want me to do, just do that. And I am going to follow you. And so I wanted to back off, but I was just like, I felt something strong in my spirit that was related to him. And so I was like, okay, I need to continue this. So again, we are like talking every day, and it was moving so fast. Like the conversations was getting so deep and everything. And he was like, he want to spend the rest of his life with me and everything. And I'm just like, I'm like, you don't even know me. Like, what is going on? But then the things that was making me, one of the things that was like scaring me is I had a dream, and I don't normally remember my dreams, but I was waking up by this dream, and I remembered this dream, and I was just like crying, and something had happened to me, in the past, and God was telling me something. And so there's something that I was dealing with that night and everything. And I dealt with it and everything, went to sleep, woke up the next morning, and he sent me a prayer. He sent me a prayer that related to my dream that I had. And I was just like, I had messaged him, and I was like, why did you send me this? And he was like, that's what he felt in his spirit to send that to me. And so I'm just like so blown away. And I was like, do you know, I just had a dream? I just had a dream. And it goes so closely with the prayer that he had for me and everything. He was like, this is just what I felt in my spirit. So it was all these little things, like him, being the type of man that I wanted in my future husband and everything, and just this spirit, this heaviness on me, and just us, and he was just like the most calmest person and just the sweetest person, and he was just so considerate and just so thoughtful, and it was just like, who is this guy? So 10 days after, we had been talking, like that night, I was like, I felt something so strong in my spirit about him. And I was just like, it was like the Holy Spirit was telling me, you need to talk to him, because we still hadn't, seen each other. We haven't heard each other's voice. And he had asked me again, could he call me, and everything. And I was still like, no. And I was adamant, no, you cannot call me. So that night, that 10th night, he I was just like, I was feeling something in my spirit, and I felt my spirit saying, talk to him. You have to talk to him. Like, it's time to talk to him. And I'm a crybaby, so I was just like crying and stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to talk to him, I don't want to see him, I don't want to do this, I just didn't want to be in a relationship. And it was like the Holy Spirit was telling me, like, this is what I needed to do. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And I'm like, Lord, are you saying this is like my future husband? Because everything that was going on was leading to that. And it just, it kind of looked like that was the direction it was going into. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to talk to him tomorrow. And Lord, tell me if this is supposed to be my husband. Like, is this supposed to be my husband or not? Is this what you're telling me? Is this what this is all about? So I go to sleep, wake up the next morning, and I'm praying, because part of the challenge was to pray about pray every morning at like 6 o'clock, and for your spouse, your future spouse. And so I'm praying, and he calls me. And I was just like, see, he done messed everything. I was like, he messed everything up. I said that I was gonna, block anybody that called me and everything. And it made me so mad, because I'm like, he done messed the whole thing up. Now I'm gonna block him. And my spirit was like, don't block him. Don't block him. So the phone stopped ringing, and I continued to pray. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna block him. I continued to pray. I got up, pulled myself together and everything. And then I messaged him, and I was like, did you call me? And he was like, yes. I was like, call me again. So he was like, okay. So I get, in front of the camera, in front of my phone and everything, and I'm ready to see him and to meet him, and don't know what to expect and everything. And I'm just like, okay, here we go. So he pops up on the screen, and it was a little hazy, and everything, because, the signal and stuff in Africa. So I could see him, but I couldn't see him. I could see him. But we looked at each other, and he just like closed his eyes and just fell back, because he was laying in his bed. And he just fell back, and he was just like, I love you. He was like, spend the rest of your life with me and everything. I'm like, what is going on with this? I'm like, you don't know me. But what is so strange about it is, when we saw each other, I just instantly got this joy in me that I had never experienced before. It was just like this overwhelming joy, to the point where I started tearing up. Like, tears just started coming, and I was just so happy. And I don't even know, and it was so weird. And I felt kind of embarrassed, because I'm like, I am crying, and I don't even know this guy. And, and he's sitting up there, he kept saying, spend the rest of your life with me and all of this. And I'm just like, we don't know each other. And I'm just like, what is going on right now? So he just kept saying it. Then the phone hung up. And I'm sitting there like, what just happened? I look out the window, and I'm praying, and I'm talking to God, and I'm like, what is going on right now? Literally, tears is just coming down. And I'm just feeling so much joy and so much happiness. And God revealed to me that a dream of mine and a hope of mine was that my husband would propose to me like those women, the man get down on his knees, or he just proposed, however he gonna propose. He proposed to me, and I just cry, and I'm so happy and everything. Like, I wanted that experience. I wanted that experience. And so it revealed to me, like, that's how I felt. I was just so like, oh my goodness, like, just the joy and the happiness I felt. That was what I asked for. And that's what I was experiencing. So I was like, Lord, you're saying that this is my husband. And so when I got that revelation, and that came, the phone rang again. So we see each other again. He do the same thing. He just falls back and he's like, spend the rest of your life with me. I want to be with you and all of this. And I'm just like, he kept saying it, and I said, yes. And he still said it, and I was like, yes, I will. And he was like, kept saying, I was like, did you hear what I just said? And he was like, what did you say? He sat out, he was like, what did you say? And I was like, are you asking me to marry you? And he said, yeah. I was like, I said yes. And he was just like, oh my God. And he was just so happy and excited. And I'm just like, what is going on right now? And the phone hang up again. The phone just died. Excuse me. So I'm like pacing back and forth, and I'm like, what did I just do? I don't know this guy. I don't know what's going on. And what popped in my head was, this is sacred. Like, between me and this, it was like, this is between you and him, and you have to protect it. Don't tell anybody. I felt so strong in my spirit that we were supposed to keep this to ourselves. And I was just like, I called him right away. And I was like, don't tell anybody. Like, we have to protect this. I don't know. We don't know what is going on, because he was feeling some type of way too. And he'll tell you his story. But he was feeling some type of way about me too. It was some strange feelings he was having, and some strange things that was happening in regards to me too. So I'm like, we have to protect this, because this is something. This is something. I don't know what this is. So we can't tell anybody. And he was like, I told somebody. It was literally like not even 10 minutes. And he done told people already. So I'm like, did you call on Facebook and tell? He was like, no. He's like, but he went on another social media. It probably was like WhatsApp or something. I didn't know anything about WhatsApp at that point. But he was like, I was like, okay, was the social media, was it Facebook or Instagram? He was like, no. I was like, okay, so let's just not tell anybody else. And he was like, okay. And then the phone hung up again. And it was just like, and that heaviness that I had in my spirit just went away. It was like, it just went away. And it was just like, God was saying, okay, now, next, like, I felt in my spirit, like he was like, okay, now y'all have to get to know each other. This is what he wanted. Within that time, it was like I said, everything was moving so fast, and all these things was happening to get us to that point to where we were engaged with each other. After 10 days, it was like the 11th day that we knew each other, that we were talking, that we got engaged. And so that's how we met. All right. It's the end of this one. I will talk to you guys later. You have a great rest of your day. Love you so much.